You know that feeling when something's been right in front of you this whole season, but you didn't want to believe it? That uncomfortable truth sitting in the back of your mind while you're watching every Sunday? Well, today, we're talking about something that might shake the foundation of this Bears offense moving forward. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every single word of this, because the implications are massive for Caleb Williams and the future of this franchise. Welcome to Bears News Fan Report, where you get the most up-to-date news, breaking stories, and insider analysis on our beloved Chicago Bears. I'm here to bring you everything you need to know about the team we live and breathe for every single day. Make sure you stick around until the end, because what I'm about to break down could completely change how you view this offseason. Let's get into it. So, here's where we are right now. The Bears are having one of their best seasons in years. We've seen flashes of brilliance. We've seen Caleb Williams develop into the quarterback we hoped he'd become, and we've watched this offense transform under Ben Johnson's leadership. But here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about openly, the thing that's been brewing beneath the surface while we celebrate every victory. There's a situation developing with one of our key offensive weapons, and it's not going away. I'm not talking about minor adjustments or typical roster shuffling. I'm talking about a potential seismic shift that could redefine our receiving core heading into next season. Now, before I get into the specifics, let me paint you a picture of what's been happening on the field. When Ben Johnson came to Chicago, there were expectations, massive expectations. We all thought we knew how this offense would operate, who would get the targets, and how the aerial attack would function. Johnson brought a reputation for maximizing talent and creating explosive passing games. Everyone assumed that meant our established receivers would flourish in ways we hadn't seen before. But football has a funny way of surprising you, doesn't it? The game doesn't always follow the script we write in our heads during the offseason. What we've witnessed this season is something fascinating, and, depending on your perspective, either exciting or concerning. Our Rome Odunze has absolutely exploded onto the scene. This kid has become the #1 weapon in our passing attack, and it's not even close anymore. The chemistry between Odunze and Caleb Williams is undeniable. Every week we're seeing routes run with precision, catches made in crucial moments, and a connection that's building into something special. Odunze isn't just meeting expectations, he's shattering them. He's become the reliable target that Caleb looks for when the play breaks down, when we need a first down, when everything's on the line. But here's where things get complicated, and this is where you need to pay close attention, because this affects everything moving forward. While one receiver has been ascending, another hasn't quite found the same rhythm in this system. I'm talking about mental errors, missed opportunities, and a fit that just hasn't materialized the way everyone hoped it would when Johnson took over. Now, I want to be clear about something right now. This isn't about talent. This has never been about talent. We're talking about a player who has proven himself in this league, someone who's put up over 1,000 receiving yards in back-to-back seasons earlier in his career, someone who came to Chicago with a first-round pedigree and all the tools you want in a wide receiver. The issue is system fit. The issue is what Ben Johnson sees when he's designing plays and calling games. The issue is whether the vision for this offense aligns with having certain players in certain roles. And look, this is professional football. Coaches make tough decisions based on what gives the team the best chance to win. Johnson didn't come to Chicago to maintain the status quo. He came here to build something special around Caleb Williams. And if that means making difficult personnel decisions, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So here's what's developing, and this is the part where everything I've been building toward comes together. According to sources tracking off-season possibilities, DJ Moore is now listed as a top trade candidate heading into the upcoming offseason. Yes, you heard that right. DJ Moore, who's been a significant part of this offense, who came over from Carolina with high expectations, who signed a substantial contract to be a cornerstone of this passing game, is now being discussed as someone who could be on the move. This isn't speculation from random internet personalities. This is coming from people who understand how front offices operate, who track these situations closely, and who recognize the signs when a team is considering a major change. Now, let me break down why this makes sense from multiple angles, even though it might sting to hear. First, let's talk about age and value. Moore turns 29 next year. In receiver years, especially in today's NFL, where teams are prioritizing younger, cheaper talent, that's a significant factor. He's not going to fetch premium draft capital in a trade, but he'd still generate interest from teams looking for a veteran presence who can contribute immediately. The Bears wouldn't get a first-round pick in return, but they could potentially land a second or third-rounder plus additional assets, which in a draft-focused rebuild around a young quarterback becomes valuable ammunition. Second, there's the system fit issue I mentioned earlier. Johnson has a specific vision for how this offense operates. If Moore's skill set doesn't align perfectly with that vision, if the mental errors continue, if the production doesn't match the investment, then moving on becomes not just reasonable, but necessary. Great coaches are ruthless about putting the right pieces in the right places. They don't hold on to players out of sentiment or because of past production. They evaluate what's happening right now and what will happen in the future. Third, and this is crucial for understanding the bigger picture, the Bears need to continue building around Caleb Williams. That means maximizing every resource, every draft pick, every dollar of cap space. If trading Moore opens up opportunities to add more talent, whether that's through the draft or free agency, whether that's offensive line help or defensive upgrades, or another young receiver who fits Johnson's system better, then you have to seriously consider it. This isn't about disrespecting what Moore has done. This is about building a championship contender. Now, if the Bears do decide to move Moore, and I want to emphasize that nothing is final yet, but if they do, there are several teams that could absolutely use his services. Let me walk you through 3 potential landing spots that make sense from both a football and business perspective. First up, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Chiefs have been struggling lately, and they need to inject some life into that offense. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing at his MVP level, and they're coming off some tough losses. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are solid, but they need another weapon who can create separation and make plays. Moore brings versatility, elusiveness, and the ability to break through coverage. He could be exactly what Kansas City needs to reignite their offense and make another playoff push. Imagine Moore running routes designed by Andy Reid with Mahomes throwing him the ball. That's a dangerous combination. Second, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is interesting because Pittsburgh is in transition mode. Mike Tomlin's future, Aaron Rodgers potentially retiring, the whole situation is fluid. But here's what we know. They've got DK Metcalf as their number 1, but they've never found that true complementary piece. Adam Thielen is retiring this offseason, which leaves a void. If the Steelers want to restart their offense, especially if they're bringing in a new quarterback, Moore could be the veteran presence they need. He'd give them a reliable option opposite Metcalf and provide stability while they figure out the rest of their offensive puzzle. Third, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa's situation is fascinating because their veteran receivers are aging out. Mike Evans is considering retirement. Chris Godwin has been battling injuries constantly, and while they've got Emeka Egbuka showing promise, they need another established receiver. Moore could slide right into that offense and provide exactly what they're missing. Tampa still has aspirations of competing in the NFC South, and adding Moore could keep them relevant while they transition to the next generation. Here's what I think about all of this, and I want to be completely honest with you. Change is hard. Seeing a player who's been part of this team potentially move on is never easy, especially when we've invested emotionally in the roster we have. But I'm optimistic about what this could mean for the Bears' future, If Ben Johnson and the front office believe that moving Moore opens up better opportunities for this team, if it means more resources to build around Caleb Williams, if it means finding receivers who fit this system perfectly, then I trust that process. This organization is finally making decisions with a clear vision and long-term plan. That's something we haven't always been able to say about the Bears. Rome Odunze has shown us that young talent can emerge and thrive in this offense. Maybe there's another receiver in this draft who could come in and make an immediate impact. Maybe the cap space from moving Moore's contract allows us to sign a game-changing offensive lineman or defensive player. The possibilities are endless when you're thinking strategically about roster construction. But here's what I want to know from you, and this is important because we're all in this together as Bears fans. What do you think about the possibility of DJ Moore being traded this offseason? Do you believe it's the right move for the team's future, or do you think we should keep him and find a way to make it work? Are you confident in Ben Johnson's ability to reshape this offense, or does losing an established veteran concern you? How do you feel about the potential return we might get in a trade? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below because this is a conversation every Bears fan needs to be having right now. As we head into this offseason, there are going to be more stories, more decisions, and more developments that shape the future of this franchise. If you want to stay ahead of every breaking news story, if you want detailed analysis of every move the Bears make, if you want to be part of a community that lives and breathes Chicago football, then you need to subscribe to Bears News Fan Report right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join thousands of other passionate fans who refuse to miss a single update. Drop a like on this video if you found this analysis valuable, and share it with every Bears fan you know because this is information everyone needs to hear. The future is bright for the Chicago Bears. We've got a franchise quarterback, we've got a proven head coach, and we've got an organization that's finally making smart, strategic decisions. Whatever happens with DJ Moore, whatever moves we make this offseason, I believe we're heading in the right direction. Let's trust the process, support our team, and get ready for what could be an incredible next chapter in Bears football. I'll see you in the next video with more breaking news and analysis. Bear down.